What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to AWS OnAir at AWS reInvent. Today, we're going to talk to the AWS game-based learning product team and understand the products they have, focusing around generative AI and machine learning. My name is Aaron Hunter. I'm a principal developer advocate on the AWS Training Live team. And I'm joined with Jason and Curtis. Jason, what's going on?
Hey, Aaron. It is great to be here. My name is Jason Cuddy, and I am a technical curriculum developer on the game-based learning team. And I've been here at AWS for about 6 years now.
Amazing. A lot of experience there helping the game-based learning team develop products for customers and learners. And Curtis, who are you and what do you do? How's it going?
Hey everyone, I'm Curtis Borden. I'm a senior product manager for the game-based learning products team. And I've been with Amazon for about 7 years building and developing these products.
Wow. A lot of experience from both of you. I've been here for about 9.5 years, but let's go ahead and jump straight into what we're talking about today. So who wants to maybe cover game-based learning products, what they are, where people can find them?
I can do that, Jason. So the best place to find game-based learning products, the largest portfolio in the world, is at AWS Skill Builder, where we have an extensive collection of game-based learning products that teach you how to build solutions on AWS, how to design solutions on AWS, and how to develop your soft skills as you talk to customers about building solutions as well. So as you can see, we have an extensive collection of game-based learning products with different roles for generative AI, machine learning, security. So we have an extensive portfolio that you can choose from. Specifically, we can start with AWS Cloud Quest, which helps you to build solutions on AWS. And we have a generative AI role if you're interested in that field of study. We have several different generative AI assignments and solutions that you can pick from. We have AWS SimuLearn, which teaches you. It's powered by generative AI. And we also have Escape Room for exam prep if you're interested in taking the Cloud Practitioner exam for generative AI. Or the AI Practitioner exam, you can start with AWS Escape Room as well.
That's amazing. So there's a lot of different options. There's AWS Cloud Quest, Escape Room, Card Clash. I think you mentioned Industry Quest. I saw that on the page. And you had SimuLearn pulled up for a while. And I'm just curious to know, what's some of the advantages of AWS SimuLearn compared to the other game-based learning options that you have?
Well, AWS SimuLearn is very unique. It's the only product that we have that's actually powered by generative AI. Usually we have a scripted dialogue where you simulate talking to a customer. But with SimuLearn, we actually have you chat with a generative AI powered customer where you ask the customer questions to try to diagnose their problem and recommend a solutions. So you have a real dynamic back and forth with that generative AI powered entity.
That sounds pretty impressive. I'm really excited to see it in action. Are you going to cover that for us today?
No, I think Jason's going to demo SimuLearn in action, and let's turn it over to him.
Okay, Jason, Curtis has thrown you the mic and the keys to the kingdom. Let's go ahead and jump directly into it.
All right, I have caught them. Hopefully I can live up to that. So yes, let's go ahead and bring up my screen here. And we are looking at a SimuLearn lab right now. And the lab that we are working on is prompt engineering with Amazon Bedrock. And so what we have here is a choice. There's always choices, right? We have
There's always choices. What are we looking at here? We have it's open dialogue and scripted mode. Yes. I see that big orange start button. Is that what we click first, or do we make choices?
Well, you could choose to watch the tutorial video, which I would recommend that you do, but you don't have to. You can click that start button. I mean, that's why it's so big and it's so there, right? But we do have these two choices of scripted mode versus open dialogue mode. And what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about the open dialogue mode, because what Curtis had mentioned earlier, one of the big things that sets this apart is that SimuLearn has that generative AI powered customer that you're going to be speaking with, and it is going to be evaluating our soft skills in talking with the customer as well.
Wait, hold on. Is it evaluating or judging? Because I might feel a little judged.
You know what? We might feel a little bit both. So let's look at it this way. If we're doing well, we'll say evaluated. If we're not doing well, we'll say we're being judged. How does that sound?
how does it tell us that we're being evaluated in the right? Well, how does it give us that evaluation feedback so we can course correct and learn?
So yeah, that is a great question, Aaron. And what we'll do here is, if you don't mind, we'll just go ahead and get started with this, and I can show a little bit more about it.
I defer to Curtis. Curtis, thumbs up. Should we go? Thumbs up from Curtis. Cool. Let's go.
All right. And so we're just going to go ahead and accept the Gen AI disclaimer there. And you see, we have some screens that show us a little bit about how to use SimuLearn. But the big thing I do want to bring up, and you're going to see this on the next screen too, we have over on the right where we will be assessed on our client satisfaction score and then the score dimensions. So those soft skills that we talked about earlier, this is what we're going to be seeing going hopefully up for evaluation, never down for judgment. But that is what we're going to be doing today. And so you see, I have the SimuLearn screen up right now. On the left, we have our conversation that is being started by Martha, who is a senior data engineer. Over in the top right, we have a diagram that is showing the solution that we need to build. And all of these boxes here, we need to fill out by suggesting, you guessed it, Aaron, AWS services. And then
those boxes with the question marks, it's like they're little placeholders. This has a whole lot of similarities that I can see as like Card Clash, like the other game-based learning product that Curtis talked about earlier, where like you have these cards, you're filling in the boxes, like you're filling in services to solve the solution. It sounds really cool.
Yeah, that is absolutely right. And then the other thing you might notice too is a lot of this will remind you of CloudQuest as well. A little bit more interactive with the generative AI piece, but this takes you straight to the lab. Whereas, with CloudQuest, you're playing through the game, you're walking through the city. With this, you go to the lab, and we start talking to Martha in a more, I don't want to say a professional environment, but maybe I will just say a little bit more professional environment, because we're getting judged or evaluated on our soft skills. And so you see in the lower right here, we have a client satisfaction score that is at 0% right now because we haven't started talking with Martha, but we are being evaluated on several different score dimensions. So things such as our communication skills, our strategic thinking, the customer focus in general. But rather than keep talking about it, why don't we just go ahead and get started with it? So I'm going to go ahead and engage Martha, and I'm just going to say, hello there. Can you help me understand the challenges your organization's facing so I can help? And as you can see right now, Martha is coming up with a response to me. And this is all powered, again, in the background by generative AI. So Martha is going to hopefully come up with this answer here soon.
So what's cool about this is like you asked a question, and if anyone here is learning generative AI, your question essentially is a prompt.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
It is a prompt, and by chance, we're talking about prompt engineering on this as well. So there might be.
I figured that made sense to bring it up.
That is, you always know best, my friend. You always know best.
And so, Jason, you're doing amazing. Your communication skills and your customer focus is through the roof. You're already at the top.
Let's just put
your problem-solving skills is still need some work.
We do still need some work, and unfortunately, we're not going to have time to complete everything. But we are going to go a little bit further here. So you see, Martha spoke up and said, here's the challenges we're facing. And it's with our generative AI system. The responses are inaccurate, and it's undermining the personalization. So what we need to do is we need to ask follow-up questions about what their exact needs are. They may have specific cost needs. They may have specific timing needs. And again, we really can't get into all of that here, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to recap what Martha said and make sure that I understood it correctly, because that is one thing that when we are talking to customers, we always have the joke, and I'm sure you've all heard it before, it's great to be confident. It's not great to be confidently wrong. You don't want to just sit there and go into an explanation for a customer without first making sure that you're understanding what you're talking about, or that you understood what they were asking for. So
And with machine learning, specifically generative AI, when it's confidently incorrect, is there a phrase for that our audience watching us live should know?
a phrase for being confidently incorrect, I would say,
Specifically from a generative AI response.
yes, I would probably say that big term would be hallucination.
Okay. So when generative AI sends a response back that is confidently incorrect, it's known as a hallucination.
That is correct. And you may have heard those terms before. And Gen AI has come a long way. So there's a lot that you could do to reduce those hallucinations. And again, we're talking about prompt engineering. With prompt engineering, you are actually taking a big proactive step in reducing those hallucinations as well. They still happen from time to time, but hey, there's an entire science now around trying to get around things like that. So Martha said we are correct. And as you can see, our client satisfaction score has edged up a little bit more too. We're still being evaluated, not judged. So I think we're doing okay so far.
All right.
And
so what can we do to maybe fill in one of these question marks before we jump over to the lab? Because I know everyone watching us live, they get the high level prompt engineering at this point. If you don't, it's okay.
Yes.
Click the link in the chat. We'll make sure we have something there so you can learn more about it. But let's fill in a question box, get to the lab, and get everyone excited.
Let's do it. Let's do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to suggest a service that is near and dear to my heart. And
Amazon S3.
Well, of course, Amazon S3. But since we're talking about generative AI, let's talk about Amazon Bedrock.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Did you see the fireworks?
I did see the fireworks. Right? They're impressive. Yeah.
Yes.
So
we filled it in, and we have now the Bedrock node exposed, and you see how our skills went way up.
And now I see there's a trivia question from a technical lead. So this is where we're being further evaluated by someone else, not just the customer Martha, but in a room of experts. When employees like solutions architects are working with customers like CFOs, CTOs, or whatever, they might have a technical advisor in the room with them. So in this case, the technical lead is that person.
That is correct. And so we do have these questions here. And these questions don't necessarily affect our score. They might in real life if they start asking. But, in here, this is just more for fun. So we're going to go ahead and answer the question. So the question is about agents. And can we build autonomous agents to connect to external APIs and data sources? I'm gonna defer to you two on that one. I think I know the answer to that, but I want to see if you two agree with me or not. I think it's true.
Hey, chat. While we're bantering about this, let us know in the chat. Do you think it's true or do you think it's false? Curtis, there's no wrong answer here.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with true.
All right, Jason, select true.
All right, we got it.
Cool, amazing, great job, Curtis. And for everyone who said true in the chat, great job to you too.
Absolutely. And now Martha has taken over again and is asking for more solutions. And that is it. That is the generative AI chat. It's pretty impressive. It's a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun. So we filled in one of the question marks, one of the squares, and we know it's Amazon Bedrock, a generative AI service. We went through the technical lead question. It's almost like a knowledge question, and it's testing our knowledge to see how much we actually know and how much additional we know. But if we got it wrong, they would actually provide some responses. I see there's a link to a doc as well, so we can learn more. But what about the lab itself? Because you mentioned the lab, there's this additional component. Can you show everyone that?
Yes. And so we're going to be very rude to Martha right now. We're just going to go ahead and skip the meeting. So bye, Martha. We're going to go build this thing. And so again, I'm going to click through. This is just explaining how we go ahead and do this. And the first thing is we see that solution that we had hopefully just built in the conversation with Martha. And we step through the entire solution with explanations and videos of how that solution was being built. But the best part about it is we actually get to go build it ourselves now. And so what SimuLearn does is it gives us an AWS Labs account. So we can open up the console right here, and it's providing an account in AWS Labs. This is not your personal resources.
I was going to ask, is that my account that I have to pay for? What's going on here?
No, this is an AWS Labs account. So the resources are all part of AWS. You do not have to pay for the resources that you spin up in this lab, which is awesome. And that's
So
like
what you're
that with
saying
all of our
is
products.
AWS SimuLearn and AWS Skill Builder is providing this account for me and everyone watching if they want to jump in and do this. The account is through that product, that platform, and they don't have to put any additional credit card information down.
Absolutely. That is 100% accurate. It's fantastic.
I like that. Hey, chat, let us know what you think about that in the chat. Are you excited?
All right. And so I'm not going to open up the console because we're not going to build the solution today. However, what I am going to do is I'm just going to click through a few of the steps just to show you an example of what we're doing here. So you see, we have all of these annotated steps that explain exactly what to do over here on the left. And we have these call outs in the screenshots that tell you where to scroll, where to click, what to type. And so we follow through all of these steps. So all 46 of these steps, we go through them and we build that solution ourselves following these steps.
Seems pretty detailed, and like there's a lot of guidance here. So in case someone's just getting started and they don't know exactly where to click or where to go or what to do, not only is it going to be steps that are in text, but it's also a visual representation of what they might see in the console. Can we maybe jump into these steps and click around a little bit?
Sure. Would you like me to open up the AWS console and take a look at that?
Let's do it, like real quick.
Yeah.
Because
sure.
I know everyone here, like the steps are great. We can see the management console landing page. I see AWS Labs user in the top right, knowing that it's not my account. So that's really cool. It takes us straight to Bedrock. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. All right.
Yes.
So what's the first thing we should do here?
So yes, we had a step in the lab steps there that told us that we needed to enable a specific model in Amazon Bedrock. So again, it took me here. It told me what to do and to click this enable specific models button. And you see there's all these models here listed in Bedrock. And we choose the models that we need for this lab, click next and save it. But we knew how to do that because we were walked through that in SimuLearn. So that was all shown to us on how to do this.
And it's saying it's saying specific models because ultimately at the end of the day, if you grant access to everything, then that's giving you and your organization some scope creep, and you want to try to have least privilege. So allow access to only the models that you need for your use case. And if you want to take it a step further, remove access to models that you no longer need.
Yes, absolutely. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go ahead and skip to the very last step that says, hey, congratulations, you completed this. And then it gives
congratulations, Jason.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Aaron. And so we have one last piece that we need to complete. It says, go to the DIY section and complete.
I see that. It's flashing.
Yes, it is. Yeah. So it takes us to the DIY, the do-it-yourself. And what this is one final challenge that says, hey, you are going to take everything that you learned from that conversation with Martha and all of those lab steps that you just completed. And now you need to apply that knowledge that you just learned and do these 3 goals here. We need to update a Lambda function. We need to redeploy that function and then test the web application. Once we are done with that, we submit it and hopefully we see fireworks. And we finished our prompt engineering lab.
We should save those steps for everyone watching live, and that way they can go through it on their own and test it out and see how much they learned.
Absolutely.
Should we recap everything that we just talked about? So I'll bring up my screen here, and that way we can kind of recap and just say like, cool. So Curtis talked about AWS Skill Builder and the game-based learning products that are located within AWS Skill Builder. So we have these game-based learning products. Curtis, do you have a favorite one? Chat, let us know. Everyone watching, let us know if you have a favorite one. Curtis, what are your thoughts?
Well, it's got to be the flagship, which is AWS Cloud Quest, where you build hands-on skills. You learn how to build real solutions with real use cases. So it's that is, and it has
that is really cool. Oh, and the hoverboard skateboard. Oh, for sure. Yeah, the Card Clash. We see that Cloud Quest. Curtis's favorite, the flagship. Obviously a favorite for a lot of reasons because there's a lot of different resources and different roles that you can try out. There's industry quests, so you can go more industry specific and solve those solutions. There's the AWS Escape Room. And then as we saw, there's also AWS SimuLearn that Jason just walked us through. There's the simulated mode or scripted mode. And what's the other mode?
The open dialogue mode.
Open dialogue mode. And then you have the lab after that. And then finally the DIY. So links to all these resources will be in the chat. Stay tuned for more from AWS OnAir at AWS reInvent 2024. And we'll also have a link to the AWS OnAir survey. Curtis, Jason, thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.